This video will show you how to add a new writing fan work to the Silmarillion Writers Guild archive. Oradrith is going to add a new story today with some of the chapters or some of the paragraphs from Lord of the Rings. So I'm going to show you how to do that. There's two ways to add a new story or a new written fan work, because you would include your nonfiction, your poetry, and your scripts, and pretty much anything that uses written text as this fan work type as well. So the one way, probably easiest, is to go to my account, add new fan work, and then click add new writing. And that will take you to the form that you need. You can also, here it is, you can also go to add to my account and then my fan works, which will show you a list of the fan works you have added to the archive. And you'll notice that there are a series of easy links over here. So add new writing will take you to the exact same place as what I just showed. This is the form used to add fan works of the writing type. There is a really detailed frequently asked questions entry here. If you click on this, you'll see it opens in a new tab. So you don't have to worry that if you want to have this open next to the form, then you don't have to worry that you're going to delete your any information you've added already into the form. There's also help text below many of the fields to help you out with knowing what to add where. So of course I'm going to type in my title, Long Expected Party. That's what I'm going to call it. I am going to add a co-creator here. So I'm going to add, Oradrith's going to add me. So you would begin typing the name of the person you want to add as a co-creator, and then you would click on their name from the drop-down that shows up. Now, it's really important to realize that co-creators are handled differently on the new website than they were on the old, where they were called co-authors. So they were automatically granted permission as a full author to edit and delete fan works. That is no longer the case. You have to grant special permission for a co-creator to have edit permission. So that would be in this access control frequently asked question here. Again, it opens in a different tab. You'll do that after you save your fan work. If I wanted to add another co-creator, I would simply click this add another item button here, and another field for co-creator would pop up. But I'm happy with what I have here for now. Next is a field where you can enter your language. It defaults to English. So unless you're posting a fan work in a real world language, not a invented language of Tolkien's, other than English, then you leave that field exactly how it is. And our next field is our summary field. This is a required field. I'm just going to enter a summary. The first wonderful chapter of The Lord of the Rings. And you'll notice that it's possible to do rich text, italics, and the like in your summary here. The next set of fields have to do with characters and relationships. And at this point, we're into fields that are optional. So if you don't want to enter anything here, you can just scroll right on by. However, our recommendation is that you do enter as much information in the optional fields as well as you can, just because when visitors come to this website and search for fan works about a particular character or a particular genre, then they'll turn up your work and you'll get more readers. So it's definitely to your advantage as well as theirs to take the extra couple minutes to add these things here. We have major characters and minor characters, and we also have fields for major relationships and minor relationships. And here I would really encourage not overthinking. Basically, what you want to think about if you're deciding whether a character counts as a major or counts as a minor, or if a relationship likewise is major or minor, the question to ask is, does this character or relationship really drive the story forward, or does the story focus on this person or this relationship for a majority of the story? In that case, you would have a major character or a major relationship. All the rest, those that are supporting or just, pop in and out of your story but don't really drive the conflict too much, would be your minor characters and your minor relationships. To select characters in both the major and the minor fields, you look for the character you want, and you just click on their name. I'm going to put an array in there. If I want to add multiple characters, just scroll down and pick someone at random. I'll put AR1 in there as well. That's not entirely random for sure. Then if you're on a PC, you're going to hold down Control and click. If you're on a Mac, you're going to hold down Command and click. And now both characters are available. going to add a minor character. I'm going to add Fingolfin as well. Notice if I start typing the character's name or the first letter of their name, it jumps to that place on the list, which can be helpful. Relationship fields function a little bit differently. You're going to start typing the name of one of the characters in the relationship. Now, the way that we've organized the names in relationships is we've done them in alphabetical order. So it can help to start with the character who is it the character in the relationship that comes first in the alphabet. So if I'm looking at an Irae and Eowyn friendship fiction here, I'm going to start typing an Irae. And there we go, an Irae and Eowyn. Just like with co-creators, if I want to add another major relationship, I just click add another item there. I'm going to add minor relationship here. You give Fingolfin a friend. So, yep, we'll actually put him in there with his wife. I'm going to add another item just to show what that looks like. And so what options we have here. Okay, I'm going to choose that. Now, if I want to rearrange the order that they appear in the list, I can just drag and drop like that. Now, if by chance the character that you need or the relationship you need is not on the list, we have a moderator request field here that you would just type in the person's name that you need. And what we'll do is we'll add them not only to the list on the website, but we'll come back in and we'll add them to your fan work for you, so you don't have anything else to do. We will add them as a major character or a major relationship unless you put minor after it. So if, for example, I have Frodo in this story, I don't know why he'd be in it, but he's minor. I'm just going to put Frodo minor here, and then the moderators will add in Frodo to the list of characters, and then they'll also put him in my fan work as a minor character. I'm going to delete that just so I don't spam my co-mods with the notification emails. Genre functions similarly to the character list. You just click where you want, and you can hold down Control or Command on a Mac to select more than one, like so. Okay, ratings and warnings. If you need help on how we determine this, you can click on the rating and warning guide. It opens in a new tab, just like everything else on this form. So if you need to consult it, you don't need to worry you're going to lose your progress on your form. This is just the first 5 paragraphs of Lord of the Rings, so very general. Just going to click that there. Warnings, we're not going to put any in. And then finally, we have the challenge field here. If the story was created for a challenge, then I could enter it in here. And same as above, hold down Control or Command on a Mac in order to select more than one. Now I'm going to start entering the fields where I'm going to start actually entering the text of my fan work. So first of all is our story notes here. These are positioned up at the top of your fan work, both on the table of contents view and the single page view. This is an excellent place to put information that doesn't fit in the summary, but you want to make sure that your reader sees before they begin reading your fan work. For the table of contents view, it's before they even click into the chapters themselves. So this can be an excellent place if you want to clarify or provide additional warnings, for example. This is a good place to thank your beta reader, a good place to include translations you want to make sure your readers have before they start reading, things like that. So I'm going to enter in my story notes here. This is the beginning of chapter 1 of Loader, copyright Tolkien Estate. Okay, now if I scroll down here, this is where I actually add my chapters. So each one of these blocks of fields here, you can see how there's the border around it, is a chapter. So of course I need a chapter title to start, so I'm going to type in chapter 1. Chapter notes appear at the top of the chapter. On the table of contents view, they appear outside of the link to actually go to that chapter. So again, this is an excellent place to put chapter-specific information that you want to make sure your reader sees before they begin reading your chapter. Just so you can see how it displays, I'm going to put some content in here. I'm just going to say just the first 5 paragraphs of Fodor, Fellowship of the Ring, for now. Okay, here's my chapter text, self-explanatory, right? I'm going to put that in. And finally, my chapter endnotes. These will, naturally, as the name suggests, goes at the end of the chapter, but they are also not visible to readers until they click into your chapter. So this is the information that you may want to include that you don't necessarily need people to see right away. For example, if you want to elaborate on the canon, or you want to talk more about, the inspiration for the story, a lot of times people will put that in here. I'm going to enter some in just to show how it works. Okay, so the next 5 paragraphs coming soon. If I wanted to add another chapter now, I would use this Add Chapter button here, and clicking that would open a new set of those fields that I just filled in for my chapter. Now we come to this checklist under the heading of Constructive Criticism Preferences. It's really important to realize here that our group rules, our website rules, do not allow readers and commenters to leave constructive criticism unless the author requests it. So if you would like constructive criticism on your fan work, this is the place where you'll indicate which kinds of constructive criticism you would like. If you would not like constructive criticism, you leave this field blank and you won't receive any. Or if you do, well, that person's in violation of the rules and you should let your friendly group moderators know. So you would just check off whatever you want. I do want to point out that if you're somebody that likes to get notifications of typos in your comments versus private message, then you would select spelling, grammar, and mechanics here to get those. We'll scroll down a bit more, and if your fan work is complete, you would check this here. Mine is not. I've only posted the first 5 paragraphs, so I'm going to leave that unchecked for now. The authoring information section is where you will backdate your fan work if you wish to do so. For example, if you're archiving a bunch of old stories, you don't necessarily want them to appear on the most recent list, then you can use this here to backdate so that they will show up under your account. Your readers can find them, can find them in search results, but they're not going to show up on most recent. If you're not backdating, leave this field alone. Forward dating it into the future does not schedule it to post in the future. So just leave this field alone unless you want to backdate. Final piece to call attention to is this published checkmark here, which is automatically selected. If you wanted to just save your fan work as a draft so that it's not publicly visible yet, if, say, you want to add all of your chapters at one time and drop them onto the archive all at once, you would simply uncheck this. You would save it as a draft that's visible only to you and the moderators. I'm going to leave it published for now. So I'm going to click Save. And here is my new fan work in Table of Contents view. So a couple things to call attention to. Remember how I said fan work notes or story notes go at the top here. So you see that fan work information is all those fields that you entered under that drop down there. And then your chapter notes are visible here. And if you click this link, you end up in your first chapter. Like that. And now I have added a story to the Silmarillion Writers Guild archive.